Okay. Hi guys, my name's Madison. Welcome to my channel. I like to do mukbang videos and cooking videos, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing and like this video if you haven't, because that would be really helpful to me. And yeah, and a great first impression, honestly. So I am gonna make a steak today, and I just have a New York strip hanging out right here that I bought at HEB. I just made this a couple days ago for myself with some techniques that I picked up from a couple articles on the internet and from a video of Joshua Weissman. And I will leave that link down below if you need it, but I mean, he has like 7 million subs, so if you're here, you're probably there. But yeah, so it's crazy how much this tastes like a steak that you can get from a restaurant. I'm honestly like just surprised. So yeah, so I have it right here. I understand that it would be nice to see everything up close, but unfortunately that's just not how we're living right now, so it is what it is. This is some beets, some carrots, and some onions for some potatoes I'm gonna make, and I'm just not gonna have a vegetable today, so that's that right now. So I'm just taking some paper towel because this steak has been hanging out on this little like, why is it whenever you're filming you can't find any words in your brain? It's like a little rack thing that I have for like a baking pan. It's like this, like it's thin. So it's been hanging out. I have some wax paper under here because I didn't want to use a plate. And it's been hanging out here for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, I would say. And I'm gonna go ahead and just dab it because I put some salt on it so that it would draw the moisture out and add flavor to the outside of the meat and hopefully penetrate some of the inside, which, speaking of from experience now, it did. So I actually left it on there, I think, for actually like an hour. This one was a bit thicker than the one that I did the other day, so I wanted to like be safe, you know. I wanted to make sure that I really got some flavor in there. So I'm not gonna rinse any of the extra salt off. I probably put a teaspoon on each side of it, and when I was putting when I was dabbing with the paper towel, a lot of that comes off. So over here I have a cast iron at medium, just a little bit higher than medium low. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put some oil, and that's gonna pretty much heat up immediately because this pan has been hanging out here for a couple minutes. Cool. So I'm just gonna grab the steak and put it in one spot, and it's gonna be really loud like this. I'm just gonna turn it down just a little bit because I just wanted it to get really hot so that it would give it a nice crust. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put some cracked pepper on here. And I'm actually just gonna put it on one side. And then I have some butter over here so that we can actually butter baste it. And I'm gonna set my timer for 2 minutes because I'm really good at like time stuff, but sometimes whenever you're cooking, like if it's gonna help you to set a timer, just do it. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, like it's fine, like I'll come back to it. Just set the timer. Set the alarm, set the timer. All it is there to help you. So yeah. So this is just gonna hang out here for 2 minutes. I'm gonna get a garlic clove because I forgot. Ouch. Oh, this is a big boy. And then, like I was saying the other day, like you just have to take the garlic clove like right here and peel it. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna do it twice. And then you just like pull back this part right here. Sorry, it's like being crazy because I'm trying to show you. Can you not? Why is this one so thick? I'll just peel off a couple extra. So I peeled off part of the back as well, and then it does come completely out. And then for this one, I'm just gonna throw it in there with the butter so that it imparts some flavor. I'm just trying to remember where the heck I put my knife. Here it is. So I'm just gonna like kind of score this a little bit so that it'll be easier for the flavor to come out of it. So I just made some slits in it. But yeah, I was so surprised when I made this the other day because like everybody's like, yeah, make steak at home, make steak at home. I'm like, it like never tastes good. And like I've been running low on like iron lately, so I've been trying to figure out what the heck to do. And so that's why I've been like eating more kale and stuff. So this timer is about to be up. I can smell it, so I'm gonna see what's happening. And then I'm just gonna rotate it a little bit so that it can be like the, okay, thank you for your time. Thank you. So that it can be like how it is like at steakhouses where it's like a, see, I don't even know words today, guys. Just be patient with me. Where it's like, you know, grill marks, whatever. I did work today, so that's why like my brain is like a little bit crazy right now. As per usual, if you're like not new to my channel, then you know that. If you are new to my channel and you're still here, you made it. So, as soon as I flip this, I'm gonna wait for it to get some marks on it, and then we will do the butter basting, and then after that, it's really just waiting for it to kind of hang out, chill, make sure it's good. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. And it's super gorgeous, like ridiculously gorgeous. So I'm gonna put 2 minutes on here. And while that is happening, I'm gonna peel some potatoes. So I'll just move this to the sink and I'll just peel them on this so that we can still hang out together. My trash can is kind of behind you guys. But yeah, I did work today, and it was like my first day in the daytime to like be alone. And like I wasn't alone, like my GM was there, but it was like my duty to make sure that everything was, you know, moving properly. So it was a little stressful, but I did really good, in my opinion. There was all kinds of stuff that I was taking care of, and hopefully, I only messed up once, but it was actually something from yesterday. So, totally not that big of a deal. In some jobs, like, you kind of have to expect that, like, the new employees are going to mess up, especially when you leave them alone. So, but yeah, I made these potatoes the other day. I have some cream, butter, and sour cream hanging out over there so that they're getting, like, more, really, so they're getting, like, the chill off of them. And this is another reason why it's good to set a timer, because I'm able to do this and talk to you guys, and I don't have to worry about doing something stupid to the steak, you know what I mean? This one has a slit in it, but I'm just going to take care of it in a minute when I'm cutting them. Also, I still haven't found my chef knife, so, like, for moving. So I'm just going to cut them with a paring knife. If you have a chef's knife, please use it. Please use it. My dad yelled at me one time whenever I was little about how I peel potatoes, so don't. Cool. So I'm just going to rotate this. I'm also going to check it, make sure it's okay. Like, even though I'm pretty sure it's okay, like, I'm still new to this method, so I just want to make sure, you know. And this one is a little bit thicker than the one that I did a couple days ago, so I want to make sure that I'm not, like, undercooking it for myself, you know what I mean? Cool, so I'm just going to rinse these little boys, these little potato boys. Okay, and then those can hang out for a minute because we are going to move on to doing the thangs to the steak. So I'm just taking like a tablespoon of butter and I'm going to stick it in here. I'm going to put this over here because I'm about to use it anyway. And then I'm going to throw the garlic in there. And then all I'm going to do is just tilt this pan to the side. That is not enough butter. That's okay though. I'm just going to add a little bit more butter because it's just not enough. to do what I need to do. Okay, anyway, so we're butter basting. So you want it to be enough butter to where you can actually like pick it up. And I'm just putting it over the steak. I know you guys can't see me like super well. I understand that and I do apologize, but this is just what we're working with. So I'm just pouring the butter over the steak and then making sure to get every little area with the butter. Last time I did this, I did put some onions in here, but I honestly didn't feel like chopping another onion, to be completely honest. So if you wanted to, you could have an onion ready, and whenever you put this steak over there to hang out, you can cook some onion in this butter, and it would be really delicious. I might just add this butter to my potatoes, because this butter is going to be full of flavor. I might also just make a sauce, I'm not really sure. Kind of thinking out loud at this point. The steak is like really heavy compared to the other one that I had. Cool. So that's good. I'm just going to check what's happening under here really quick. Awesome. So you can see how beautiful it looks right here. It has the marks on it and it's nice and brown. I'm just gonna put it on its side for a minute because, like, I can, you know? It's for me, so. And then I like to rest my steaks or anything like kind of meat related on glass because it does not transfer like smells and stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. Cool. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that hang out now over here. And a lot of juice is actually gonna come out like while it's hanging out because you just smothered it in butter. I'm also just gonna put a little spoonful on top. Just so it can hang out in the butter. Okay. And then I'm gonna just lay that on top too, just so it can hang out. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna put this pan over here. And I'm gonna go to my potatoes. So I'm just gonna salt my water pretty generously. And the reason that I'm starting the potatoes after is because it's a good indication of when the steak has finished resting as to when this will be done. And I'm just going to put this on a medium high. And these are just russet potatoes. And then I'm also going to put some garlic in these because I want them to be garlicky. And it's really easy to just add garlic to it and just mash it all together. Like it'll just like boil with it and then you just mash it all together and it's amazing. So. I think this garlic is getting like hard to peel because it's getting older. I need to buy some more garlic. I'm just going to use my paring knife really quick to grab it because I don't want to hurt myself. Yeah, I've been so tired lately, I guess from like working the 6 days. I'm not really sure. But just trying to push through it, you know. Like I used to work like 18, 19 hour days, so this will be fine. once I get used to it. And I've been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift lately. I've been like in my feelings. I don't know. Cool. So that's happening. Whoops. And I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. If this were not like a lifestyle video, obviously I would just like cut this part out. But still haven't figured out the editing on the phone yet because I am a very terrible person at like teaching myself stuff sometimes. Like it just like I love to teach other people, honestly, but whenever it comes to me, I'm like, it's okay. So I actually made some more chicken earlier, so I have some broth right here, so I'm gonna put this up. And for containers that are plastic that you obviously cannot write on, I like to just take some painter's tape. I'm just drying the top of this. It has some water on it. Anyways, I like to take some of this painter's tape. And just put it on there. And then honestly, like I just write what it is and I write the date that I made it so that I don't lose track. Because it really is so easy. Like whenever you make something, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to remember that I made that on Tuesday. And then Friday comes around, you're like, when did I make that? True story. And if you're not like that, good for you. And I actually shredded the chicken. It's just right here, like hanging out in some of its juices. Some of its juice. I'm being very irresponsible with my refrigerator right now, so it's kind of hard to put stuff in there. I'm usually really good about it, honestly, but right now it's just not happening. And I'm looking at the side of the steak, realizing that it can probably go a little bit longer. Honestly, sometimes stuff like that just happens while you're cooking, so I don't mind that it happens like on camera with you guys, honestly. Like, I would say, I think last time whenever I did it, whenever I did the grill marks, I think I did 2 minutes, 2 minutes, flipped it, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, so that it was 8. I'm pretty sure that's what I did, and then I butter basted it for probably like another 2. So like 10 minutes altogether and then let it rest. This one is obviously thicker, so it's gonna take longer. And sometimes like whenever you're filming, like things just get really exciting. So sometimes it's easy to go too fast. Oh, whoops, buy a piece of garlic. So I am just gonna put this back on here and let it hang out for a little bit longer because I really want it to be cooked to how I like it. And it's just me eating this, so I'm going to put this piece of garlic in here. I just rinsed it off. I don't really care. Like, obviously, if I was cooking for somebody else, I wouldn't put it back in there, but I don't care. I know my floors are pretty clean, so. What was that? Did you guys hear that? I'm like stretching a little bit because I'm still kind of sore from like the route that I had on Sunday for Amazon. Okay, So now that this is like getting hot again, I'm just gonna continue to butter baste it because I think I understand what happened. I didn't get the butter on this side over here because the butter actually is like cooking it, so. It's so funny too because the first time I made it, like I did it pretty much perfectly, and then I like go to show you guys and it doesn't work. That's kind of how life is, so, oh well. That's okay. But seriously, if you like steak, please try this. I know Hope was asking me for like a keto recipe, so I would say this is pretty well keto. Make that kale that I made the other day. And that would be really nice with maybe some like little like Parmesan crisps like on the side or something. And that way you have like that salty bite with it. That would be really good. And that way you get enough fat as well because this does have a good amount of marbling in it, but whenever you're doing keto, you do want to make sure you get enough fat. Cool. So I'm going to let it hang out. My wrist is like dying because this pan is like already like, what, 10 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds? And then you put this steak in it, which, how much was this? Excuse me. Maybe 12 ounce? Maybe? I'm not good at judging steak sizes, honestly, so. And I'm just going to put a plate over here so that it's ready whenever I want it. And then I actually prefer to cut steaks with a serrated knife like this. I mean, you could use like a big serrated knife, but I just don't think it's really necessary. I do prefer this knife specifically over my other serrated knives. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, here's one. I do prefer this one over these because, like, as you can tell, like this, it just is a little bit longer. So you can see right there. So it's a little bit longer. So this one also like comes up at such an angle. So it's kind of hard to make sure that you're like cutting the entire thing. This is really nice. So just wanted to, you know, tell you that. Cool. So I'm gonna leave that right there. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna put it over here. I honestly should have gone for a run after work today because my ADHD is going crazy right now, but I didn't, so you guys are dealing with my craziness. There's such a nice sear on this right now. It is so gorgeous. I can't. Okay. I'm going to baste this on the top one more time just so it gets nice and beautiful. And I'm almost at the end of my butter's life right here, to be honest. Perfect. Okay. This time it's actually done. So I'm going to let it hang out over here. I want to show you guys this. I'll do it over the plate. Okay. Anyways, look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. Like, seriously. Freaking amazing. I have these Taylor Swift songs stuck in my head. So I'm just putting a little bit of that butter on there. And then I'm also just gonna take a pat, like a small pat of fresh butter and put that on the top. And that way it'll just kind of hang out and absorb. My potatoes are almost boiling, which should be like about 10 more minutes. Where the heck? Oh, it's over here. I've been like cooking every day, so like my dishes are like always over there, like clean, but just hanging out. So I'm like, where is everything? I guess I can like put a couple things away while we're here. I was about to say while we're talking on the phone, but no one's talking to me because I'm alone. Yeah, I'm being a weirdo today. You're welcome. I honestly need another thing of paper towels. I can't believe I ran out of paper towels like while I'm talking to you guys. That's funny. Anyways, so this is just the carrots and onions that I actually cooked with the chicken. Like I made the chicken pretty much exactly the same way as the other day. And then these beets I roasted the other day, and I'm just letting them come up to room temperature just so that they're easier to mash. But it actually tastes super delicious. So I'm really excited to show you guys, and it turns them pink. So. And I'm just opening up this garlic clove and kind of letting it sit on here. Cool. I'm gonna get some butter ready for the mashed potatoes. And it's so funny that I'm like gonna make this right now too, because whenever I got off work, you know, I started making like the chicken, and then while I was making that, because that's just for like lunches for work, while I was making that, I heated up one of those Totino's pizzas that go in the oven, and I ate that with like a cucumber because I was just like super hungry. Oh yay, okay, so these are boiling. Come here, potato. There's like a huge chunk of potato in here on accident. Where the heck did it go? Come here. Oh, there it is. Come here. I don't know how I accidentally missed that. Actually, yes, I do. I was really distracted. Get in there. There we go. Whoops. Come here. You guys get to see all the weird stuff that I do. Are you happy? I'm also going to add some black pepper to the cream mixture because it could just hang out there. It's not going to do anything while it's hanging out there. What can I talk to you guys about? So some of the crazy stuff that happened today was like I had to switch two people's rooms to like upgrade them to a different room because one of them is so it's a sergeant that's just like hanging out there because he has a whole bunch of work to do like in the surrounding cities. And he wanted to be next to, well, he and the dude wanted to be next to each other. The dude that he's working with, like they're both staying there. And so he wanted to be next to him. And so like I go up finally to get this room that he had wanted, which is next to the dude. And I didn't realize I knew they were right next to each other. They were like literally right next to each other. But it's also that they're like behind some of the doors at the hotel that I'm at. You walk down the hallway and you walk through a door, and then you see like the two apartment doors, the two rooms, like the two rooms doors. And so it's kind of cool, like they literally have their own little like hallway too, which is really nice. So they can be just a little bit louder like near their doors and not have to worry about like someone else. And what's nice as well is that he actually ended up at the corner unit, which is like so perfect. So I'm actually really happy for him because that's gonna be so much better than where he was. Because not only was he in a smaller unit, he was in a unit that has a roll-in shower. And what's really weird about these is that there's no like way to, so it's for handicap accessible, but there's no way to like put something like a little barrier or anything to like keep the water inside, so it literally all just comes in. I don't know why whenever they built it, I feel like it would have been probably like somewhat of a good idea to angle everywhere like toward a drain that would be like in the corner, like where you could still obviously like roll a person in a wheelchair in there, but it would just be slightly angled because like so much water comes out. It's absolutely insane. And like just the amount of towels that they have to use, like it doesn't fight away like the mold and everything. So I'm really glad that I was able to put him in there. And then the other guy was moving from the same type of room that he had. Mitzi, what are we doing? Mitzi's being a freak on my bed. She's such a freak. Sometimes she'll just go in there and she'll just roll around and like growl at herself. It's hilarious. Anyways, and then the other guy, like, he wanted like a 1-bedroom, which is like the biggest suite that we have, and they are pretty big, honestly. Like, that was my first time walking in them because we don't even have that many. And I went to walk in there so I could make sure that it was good and clean for him. So, like, and I also was putting some keys down for him, and it was so nice in there. I was like, dang. But I got him situated as well. And like, our hotel is like so full right now, and people keep on asking for stuff that we don't have, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I want to give you what you want, but it's not available because there's a whole bunch of workers staying there because they're doing a whole bunch of like construction for like all of the places that got messed up like during like the ice storm and stuff. So yeah. Okay, so this is a little bit more cool now, so I'm gonna put it over here so I can put a little bit of water in it. I was already using so many dishes, and I washed so many already too, but they just accumulate way too fast. Ugh. Okay, there we go. I kind of want to dump out some of this butter, but I don't have any paper towels. Whatever. BRB, guys. I try not to get out of frame, but it happened. Okay, anyways, oh my gosh. So Brandon really likes cars, right? So right now, there are a whole bunch of Legos in the living room because he's building this like gigantic car. And I just had to like walk around them so I go out to like the little storage room so I could get the paper towels. So I'm just getting this butter with paper towel because I don't want to pour it in the trash because it's too hot right now. And I obviously don't want to pour it down the drain because that's really bad. Okay. Oh, and if you're wondering, like, if you haven't been to my channel before, this is like a silicone handle for the cast iron. And it's actually by the same brand. I just have a Lodge, and it's really nice because it really does, like, this thing even gets hot sometimes, so it really does protect your hands. And I'm just adding some water in that so it can start to lift up some of the grime that's in there. And then I usually just scrub it with a little, like with this thing. I usually just scrub it with this, but not when it's too hot because it will melt it. Ask me how I know. Okay, let me check these potatoes. Yeah, those are good. Okay, cool. So I'm just turning the heat off because I'm not going to need it. Okay. And to get really nice and fluffy potatoes, you just want to put it back on the burner that it was on, or even just in the pan. If it's a little bit of potatoes, the residual heat from the pan will be okay. And we're just gonna dry these out a little bit. I'm just gonna mash them. Just a little. The more surface area it has, the easier it will be to dry them out. And the reason for that is because you wanna get some of the water out because they were just in water for, you know, like 10, 15 minutes. You wanna get some of that water out so that it can absorb the butter and the cream, or milk if you're using milk. I just always use cream. Just put the butter in there. I'm gonna take it off the heat because it doesn't need any more heat. And I like to mash mine like in a circle, but I was just incorporating that butter really. I'm gonna go ahead and add my cream and everything. So that's the cream, sour cream, and black pepper. And I'm just going like up and down for a little bit. And then I just go in a circle like that. So that's all I'm doing. It's just really loud here, so you guys don't have to worry. And that just adds like a nice aeration to it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. I know it seems like I'm ruining them, but I promise I'm not. Beets taste way better in mashed potatoes than they do by themselves to a lot of people. So if you don't like beets, but you want the health benefits of the beets, just try it in mashed potatoes. It's really good. It was so funny the other day. I told Brandon, I'm like, here, babe, try this. So he tries the beet, makes a crazy face, and then, but he was already eating the beets like this. It was so funny. So he did like these. He just didn't like the beet by itself. It was hilarious. That was also kind of funny. And then if you want it to be completely smooth, like the beet part and the potatoes, the beets, the carrots, and the onions, you could blend that together with a little bit of water, or like chop them up really fine, but I don't really mind it having some texture. So these are them. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and bring you guys closer, hopefully. Cool. Please reach. Okay, so should have been enough time for this to be resting. Feels okay. This one unfortunately has a really large piece of gristle in it. Oh, one sec. I just like to make sure that I have something under here so that it doesn't slide around, because that's dangerous. Okay. Yeah, I wish I would have realized that the gristle was in here whenever I bought it, but I didn't, so that's okay. Yeah, see, you can actually see the gristle. It's just hanging out right here. I mean, this was hanging out for like 10 minutes or so. I mean, I'll be able to see when I look at the timestamp, and there's still like a lot of juice coming out, so definitely rest your steaks. Okay, so this is the little end piece here. And then even though this has like the gristle and a little bit of the fat in the middle of it, I do want to show you guys the middle. And then this is just the other end. So as you can see, it's almost exactly the same all the way through, which is really nice. It has that nice like crust on the outside of it here on both sides. It's super beautiful. I don't mind getting food on me. Okay, so I'll definitely give myself this piece. I'm gonna cut it in half though, because I can't eat that big of a piece of steak. I'm such a wimp. Like, my throat gets all like, what are you doing to me, girl? So I'm pretty much just cutting these into like little kid size, because that's honestly my life. yeah, definitely try this method. Like I said, I'm linking his video down below, Joshua Weissman. So definitely watch that. I'm just taking out the pieces of the gristle here. If it was just fat, that would be really nice. But that's actually why this piece of steak is so like juicy like this, is because there's so much marbling throughout. It was a really gorgeous piece of meat. I'm sure you could see it whenever it was hanging out on the counter. Here, I'll do one more. Okay. And I'll go ahead and eat this piece for you guys so that you can see. And that's exactly why I don't put gigantic pieces of steak in my mouth, because I can never chew it in time. I know I had a fork, but I don't remember what I did with it. And then I usually like to put some of like whatever this little like liquid is, you know? So my plate's just looking like this right now. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is like the butter and everything. I didn't even see if these needed salt. Whoopsies. They do need a little bit. Ooh. These have like the flavor of like Church's gravy. Like, it's kind of hard to describe, but like Church's has like its own flavor of its gravy, and that butter kind of tastes like it. I don't know why I didn't already point you guys up, but like I said, I'm being kind of crazy today. So anyway, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna eat this and go take a nap and wait for Brandon to get home and finish his Legos. Alright guys, I'm super tired. I was around people all day. So that is me bidding you adieu. So have a great day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.